I'll tell you something you'll never hear out loud. Women don't choose how you think they choose. It's not about beauty. It's not about money. It is not even the classic that makes her laugh. No, the choice happens in the shadows, in a hidden corner of her mind where even she doesn't have full access. And that's where men like you must learn to operate. Like me, like a strategist, like a prince in the art of desire. You think they choose logically, but logic is a puppet hanging by the strings of emotion. And if you don't understand how to manipulate those emotions, you're destined to become a nice memory, because a woman can desire you, admire you, even need you, but that doesn't mean I choose you. The act of choosing truly happens long before she is aware that she has already fallen. And today I am going to unravel those invisible threads, those criteria that no woman would admit out loud, but that they all apply. There is something in common among the men that they end up pursuing. They do not follow the rules, they write them, and the first of these principles, the one that very few understand, is this. The woman does not choose the most available, but the most difficult to possess emotionally. Don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about ignoring her like a fool. I'm talking about giving you measured, controlled crumbs designed to seduce your mind, not your body. Because the body is achieved with effort, but the mind, it is only given to the one who manages to destabilize it. Observe carefully. When a man shows himself to be needy, she does not reject him because he is weak. He rejects it because he already understands it. He has deciphered it. And what is already understood ceases to be mysterious. What ceases to be mysterious ceases to be desired. Do you want to be desired? Then you must become an enigma. You must be present but not available. You must speak, but without revealing anything. And here begins the first uncomfortable truth. Women do not choose the one who validates them too quickly. They hide it, they deny it, but inwardly they feel that if you are worshipping them without them having to conquer you, then you are not worth that much. Because in the logic of power, what is obtained without effort is easily despised. I learned this by watching real cuts. Queens, courtesans, wives of nobles. They all shared the same pattern. They only deeply valued those who could retire at the moment of greatest interest. The man who, just when she thought she had him trapped, disappeared. Not because of a tantrum, but by strategy. Because I didn't want to force it. He wanted to plant, and then harvest when her anxiety was so high that even her pride seemed a fair price to have him back. This is how the strategists of desire operate. They do not compete, they do not beg, they are not exhibited, they hide in the shadow of mystery, and from there they conquer. When you talk to a woman, every word you use is being evaluated not by its content, but by its impact. Do you alter their heart rhythm? Do you make her doubt you? Do you make them need to know more? Then you're in control. If not, you're in their hands. And once you're in their hands, she doesn't respect you, it caresses you, he tolerates you, but he doesn't want you. Now listen carefully, because this is essential. There is a hidden list of criteria that your unconscious mind uses to discriminate between a worthy man and an expendable man. She's not going to tell you. Sometimes you don't even know. But it is there, and it all starts with the aura of authority. Not authority based on shouting or imposing, but in something much more subtle, more lethal, the authority of the one who does not need to impress. When you walk into a room and don't feel the need to validate yourself, when your presence conveys that you choose, not that you're waiting to be chosen. Something changes in their biology. It is not a rational choice, it is an instinctive response. Suddenly, you are no longer one of them. You are an option that she needs to understand, and therefore start watching you, to evaluate yourself, to want to understand you. At that point, you've displaced everyone else, but there is more, much more. The second secret criterion has to do with how you handle tension. Non-sexual, psychological. If you can carry on a conversation without seeking relief, without breaking the awkward silence, without filling the spaces with empty words, then she begins to feel that you are not playing to please her. You're playing to make it fit you. And this, although it sounds paradoxical, attracts her more than any compliment. Because when a man is able to sustain tension without fear, she projects onto him an inner force that he wants to understand. And the most curious thing is that many times, this tension is generated not by what you say, but because of what you keep silent. Now stop and reflect. How many times have you said too much? How many times have you revealed your intention too early? How many times have you killed the mystery for fear of losing it? The real mistake is not talking. It is talking without a strategy. Every word that does not sow doubt, that does not generate intrigue, that does not project authority. It's a bullet fired at your own appeal. And yes, I know you've been told that communication is key. But that's what men who don't know how to play say. Because the key is not to communicate, but to seduce with communication. And that is only achieved when you understand that power is not in saying what you feel, but in controlling when you say it, how you say it, and if you say so. Don't forget this. Women don't fall in love with the one who gives them everything. They fall in love with the one who makes them feel like they're winning it little by little, and that they still have a long way to go. It is there in that unresolved tension where the true attraction is born. And when you understand that, you'll stop competing with men, and you will begin to be the man that others fear, the one who does not ask, but provokes. And we haven't gone into the depths yet. There is something you must start observing. If you want to stop being invisible, women are not attracted to the obvious, but because of what awakens a doubt in them. The man who enters with excessive confidence, who shows off, who shows himself as if he has everything under control. It generates a sense of warning, because seduction, when it is too direct, smells of clumsy manipulation. On the other hand, the one who masters the art of insinuating, the one who knows how to leave traces without showing himself completely, becomes a puzzle. And the puzzles, they stay in the mind. Here comes another hidden criterion: the perception of rarity. Did you know? Women unknowingly gravitate toward what they can't easily classify. The ordinary, predictable man fits into a category he has already explored. But when a man breaks that structure, when he seems not to respond to traditional patterns, it becomes a mystery that she wants to solve. Because it's not your ego that chooses. It is his unconscious that feels trapped by what he cannot explain. Want proof? Observe how a woman reacts when a man does not fall into his usual games, when it does not respond to the double meaning, when he does not seek immediate physical contact. Instead of feeling rejected, she feels challenged. And when a woman feels challenged, she starts competing for your attention, not because he likes you, but because it needs to be validated through you. And that's when you stop being just another one, and you become their target. This brings us to another essential principle that very few understand. Female attraction is intimately tied to perceived status, but I'm not talking about fame or money. I'm talking about a more sophisticated form of status, emotional independence. When a woman feels that you can't be easily influenced, that you don't seek her approval, that your decisions don't change because of her mood or her beauty, she begins to associate you with power. And power, dear listener, is the oldest aphrodisiac of all, because there is something profoundly exciting for a woman in the figure of the man who does not allow himself to be easily touched by the world. It is the same principle that made kings desired, not because of his words, but because of his inaccessibility, because everything that is scarce is valued more, and you, if you know how to use it, can turn your attention into such a scarce resource that every second you give it feels like a prize. But for that, you first have to stop giving it to anyone. This is where investment psychology comes in. Women invest emotionally when they feel like they're moving forward in a game with hidden rules, not when you give them everything at once. If you build your presence as a map that is revealed as she invests, she will keep walking towards you even when she doesn't understand why she does it, because it no longer does so logically. He does it with desire, with obsession. And that's when you get him to become obsessed with understanding you, that it doesn't matter what you say anymore. Your silence becomes seduction, your absence a weapon, your limits a challenge, because everything she doesn't control excites her. What he controls bores him. So tell me, are you the one who adapts, or are you the one who sets the pace? Because in the dance between the masculine and the feminine, the one who moves the most does not win. The winner is the one who manages to make the other move at his or her pace. The true attractive man does not accelerate, he does not react, he provokes, he directs, and he does it not from desire, but from strategic coldness. And this, listen carefully, does not mean that you do not feel. It means that your emotions do not govern your behavior, that even if you like a woman, you can withdraw if she doesn't meet your standards, that even if you want to see it, you can wait, and that even if you die to kiss her, you can restrain yourself, because you understand that in the game of desire, the one who acts first, it loses the mystery, and mystery is your biggest advantage. A woman does not give herself to the first one who desires her. She gives herself to the one who makes her doubt whether she is up to the task, to the one who does not give up, but observes her with the same coldness with which she analyzes the rest. Because women analyze, evaluated, calculated, not rationally, but emotionally. But the process is there, and you can become the man who awakens all his senses if you know how to sow tension, curiosity, and desire, without giving yourself completely. Remember this, when she doesn't know if she has you, she starts imagining what it would be like to have you, and in that process of imagining you, he begins to fall in love with a version of you that he doesn't even know well. That's the catch. The most elegant of all. Because when you fall in love with the image you've created, you can no longer be compared to any other real man. And there's more. There's something you need to start understanding if you really want to become the kind of man they quietly choose. Women don't choose with their eyes, they choose with their bodies, with reactions they don't understand, with impulses they don't control, with an attraction that comes to them before they can reason. And you, if you want to master this terrain, you must stop thinking like an ordinary man and start thinking like an architect of sensations. I'll tell you clearly, every gesture of yours sends a message. I am not talking about the obvious. I don't mean giving flowers or taking her to dinner. I'm talking about what you can't fake, the way you walk, how you hold your gaze without hesitation. If you are interrupted and you do not lose the center, all of that is recorded in your unconscious as signs of dominance. And that dominance is what makes her feel that she is in front of someone superior to the rest. Not better, no more good. Superior, weirder, more solid, more scarce. And here I reveal another layer of the secret. Women do not choose based on the logic of what they should. She surrenders to what she cannot classify. Want a strategic edge? Make him not know if you're a danger or a promise, if you're a protector or a challenge. Play with that ambiguity, because it is in that ambiguity that the deepest emotions are lodged, the ones that are not forgotten. And if you're smart, you'll notice that many times women are attracted to men who don't suit them. Why? Because these men awaken in them a biological response, not a rational one. The mistake most good men make is wanting to be approved. But approval does not ignite. What ignites? It is the threat of the unpredictable. I don't mean that you are chaotic or unstable. I'm talking about not being decipherable, that you are emotionally unpredictable, that she doesn't know if you're going to flatter her today or elegantly ignore it, that I can't anticipate if the next time I see you, you're going to get closer or you are going to leave without giving explanations. Because when it can't anticipate you, it starts waiting for you. And when a woman waits, start investing. And this is important. In the game of choice, it doesn't matter who starts. It matters who is in control of the rhythm. You can be the one who approaches first, but if you can get her to invest more emotionally than you, she will be the one who chains herself to the bond. This is how real seduction works. It is not about catching with phrases, but about directing with presence. Not to impress with words, but to mark territory with attitude. The female mind, in its complexity, responds to certain ancient codes. One of them is the feeling that the man who desires, he can have others, but chooses not to. That feeling, that unresolved doubt, drives her crazy because it activates their sense of competence. And a woman, when she enters competitive mode for a man, is capable of betraying even her own rules. Notice how their attitude changes when they sense you might leave. Not when you say it, when you show it with subtle actions, when you don't answer immediately, when you postpone a meeting without justification, when she expects your approval, and you give him a smile but not an answer. That's where he begins to invest emotionally, and those who invest stick to it. And it is precisely attachment that confuses women, because they start to think they're in love when they're actually intrigued. And the interesting thing is that they don't want to solve the intrigue. They want to live in it. They want to explore it, because every step they take towards you without completely obtaining you confirms to them that you are worth it. And here's the paradox you need to master. The easier you are, the less you value it. The more scarce, the more he wants you. But it is not a question of running away. It's a matter of offering parts of yourself as if each one is a treasure to be won, not a prize to be given. For women do not love the man who throws himself at their feet. They love the one who leads them to rise to reach him. This is not arrogance. It is emotional intelligence applied to desire. If you know how to manage your emotions, your times, your energy, she will feel it. You won't understand it, but you will feel it. And what is felt but not explained, it becomes addictive. Do you want her to see you as someone unforgettable? Then he stops being the one who adapts to what she is looking for. Be the one setting a new standard. The one who does not beg, the one who does not beg, the one who does not ask, the one who provokes, the one who appears and leaves a mark that is not erased. And we are not yet at the most important point. Whoever dominates the environment dominates perception. And here, at this exact point, many men lose the game without knowing it. They believe that the game happens only between him and her. But women never choose in isolation. Look at the context. He analyzes it. He's sorry. Every woman has a social radar that never goes out. When you present yourself to it, it does not analyze only you. It analyzes how the world reacts to you. And this is where one of the most subtle, but most decisive criteria is born: the perceived social value. I don't mean having followers on social media or shouting your success. I'm talking about how other people, especially other women, react in your presence. If they look at you, if they respect you, if they desire you. Because a woman, even without admitting it, is more attracted to a man than other women validate. It is not cruelty, it's biology, it's evolution. Female desire multiplies when she perceives competition. When you feel like you're accessing a man who isn't easy to get. And if you manage to project that value without saying a word, you fall into a different category. A category where she no longer decides rationally, but feels that he must win you. And how is that perception constructed? With control of nonverbal language. with elegance when moving, with a presence that doesn't need to boast, with subtle signs of authority, with the kind of look that doesn't beg but judges. A woman feels chosen when you look at her like that, not because you want to seduce her, but because you're deciding if she's worthy of your time. That is the investment of power, because most men look with desire. The Machiavellian seducer looks with criteria, and that awakens something ancestral in her, the desire to be chosen by those who do not need to choose anyone, because who has options. And even so, he does not surrender to just anyone. He generates intrigue, respect, and desire. And there's something else, something that few apply, but that makes a brutal difference. I am referring to the ability to create emotional scenarios. Women remember moments, not people. They remember how they felt in your presence, not what you said. If you're able to provoke an intense emotion in her that breaks her emotional routine, your memory is installed like an anchor. Make her laugh at the right time. It causes a tense silence when she least expects it. Show him a vision of you that contradicts what he thought. Make her feel nervous, make her feel powerful, and then leave her confused because she doesn't understand why she can't stop thinking about you. That is strategic seduction. It's not just talking, it is sculpting an emotional experience with your mere presence. Because the woman does not remember who was perfect, she remembers who made her stagger. To those who broke logic without breaking respect, to those who entered without asking permission and left a mark without touching her body. The female mind is an emotional labyrinth, and you must enter with a firm step, but without a map. Every answer of yours should be unexpected, every gesture calculated, and each retreat a movement of power. Do you know what is the most common mistake men make after capturing a woman's interest? Wanting to keep it by being consistent. But the constant is boring. She doesn't want to know that she will have you every day at the same time. She wants to feel that even though she wants you, she can't possess you completely. That there is a part of you that is not surrendered, that is not explained, that is not domesticated, that is not coldness. That's what awakens their hunting instinct. Because yes, even the sweetest woman has a hunting side, a side that is activated in the face of the unattainable, before what he observes, but he does not kneel. To the man who, even when he wants it, does not lose control of himself. And I tell you clearly, when she perceives that you are not afraid of losing her, she begins to fear losing you. That's the emotional investment. And when you make her feel like she can't replace you, not for your gestures, not for your silences, not for the emotional experience you provoke in him. You're not just a man anymore, you are an experience, you're an addiction. And no woman easily gets rid of an addiction she doesn't yet understand. And we haven't yet talked about the impact of your ability to provoke selective uncertainty, nor the most powerful weapon of all, the narrative you build about yourself without opening your mouth. Do you know why most men fail to profoundly influence a woman? Because they don't understand that attraction is not a transaction, it's a narrative. It's a script that is written in his mind, and you decide if you will be a secondary character or the protagonist that she cannot replace. And that narrative is not built with logic but with symbols. The way you speak is a symbol. Your silence is another. Your priorities, your way of looking, your ability to leave without explanation, your lack of need to be liked. All of that screams something she can't ignore, that you're not available to just anyone, that you are scarce, that you are desired, that you are dangerous, not because you're cruel, but because you're not moved by anxiety, but by strategy. And here ends this lesson. But your transformation does not end, because now you know that the real power is not in chasing her. It's about making you the kind of man she can't stop watching, that it cannot classify, that he cannot forget. That man is you. If you choose to master yourself before trying to master the game, and if this message resonated with you, if something inside you awoke because you recognize that this knowledge is real, useful, and dangerous, then I want you to act. For knowledge without action is weakness disguised as wisdom. Share this video with other men who are still begging for attention, who still believe that they must work hard to be chosen. They also deserve to see the other side of the game, the face that no one shows, the face that I, Machiavelli, have just shown you. Leave me your comment. Tell me what part of this message challenged you, shook you, opened your eyes. And if you're already applying any of these strategies, please share it. Because when you speak, when you share, this content reaches more people. And the more people understand this, more men stop kneeling before a female choice, and they begin to be the ones who define the rules of the game. And if you're one of them, then subscribe. We do not speak here to please. We speak to wake up, and the one who is awake, he never lives asleep again.